So this is sort of what I've been doing for the last 30 years. And now I want to talk to you about what other people are doing, things that we've been looking at and seeing all around the country. And because we thought we were the only people doing this kind of work, and it turned out, by surprise, that there are hundreds of people doing the same thing all across America. And I want to share what they're up to. So let's take a look. So first of all, we're going to talk about government communications. And there are people who are redesigning everything, but everybody is passionate about the government. And if you think about, well, where does government communications come from? Like, most of the time you don't know. Like, who did it, who made it, where, is it done by designers, is it done by secretaries, who knows? We do know that the first brand mark, which was the American flag, was designed by a citizen, Betsy Ross, and the story that we understand is that Washington came with a piece of paper in his pocket and he opened it up and showed it to her. And she said, I think I can make it a little better. And she changed it and made a couple of prototypes, and boom, we have the American flag. And that worked out. Maybe it was because it was citizen design. And there are other communications that the government does that are quite good and quite inspiring, but most of the time, they're bureaucratic. Like, this is the New York State registration form for voting. They're overly complicated. This one in particular was designed by committee, as you can tell. They are over-designed. This is everybody, I'm sure, got this. This came to every household in New York. This is the brochure telling you how to use the new ballot and voting systems in New York State. They're plain confusing. They're poorly maintained. Pittsburgh. They're unfriendly. This one we love. This is we call the door of notes. This is my Social Security office. This is what the door looks like. There's no drinking. There's no cell phones. There's no, I don't know what that is. No, don't come in. No. And often, American communications are just plain traditional, and sometimes that's good, and sometimes that's boring. But the point I want to make is that we in America live in two worlds. We all live in two worlds. We live in one world that's highly optimized, like the telephone, like the iPhone, and another world that is, government communications, like the Social Security form, which is still in operation, still in use. Now, maybe it's for old people, because, you have to be 65 to use it. But the fact is that we all live in these two worlds all the time. And I think that there's some people, most of us accept it, but some people question that. They dream up different ideas, and they use their design skills to really kind of speak about it. And they ask, and these are some of the questions I've heard, why can't government communications be like my iPhone? Why not? I can do a better job of designing government communications. Who's the expert? Them or me? And one person, Jeff Howe, said something really interesting. He said, what if the solutions to our greatest problems and government's greatest problems weren't waiting to be conceived, but just waiting to be found? That the solutions are already out there, and the government needs to go find them. And so with that in mind, we've noticed, and we went and scanned the internet and all around to find models of design engagement, just like the stuff that my groups have been doing, but people who are doing this at an even more sophisticated and kind of intense way. So I'm going to show you what folks have been doing. First thing we've seen is that there's a lot of crowdsourced design going on out there with respect to government engagement. So crowdsourcing, if you don't know, is a case where, let's say, a government agency has a problem, a design problem, or a usability problem they want to solve. They put a call out to a wide group of people and solicit all kinds of responses into them. And they make a contest. Usually they'll pay the winner $10, $100, maybe $1,000. It's a pull. They're pulling information into it. And one of the great examples of this is a thing called Apps for Democracy. And this is an organization, really, who is trying to empower the federal government to make better applications for citizens. And they create a vehicle for taking the source data from many of the government agencies and putting it out to the programmer community. And then the community, that community creates apps, and they're voted on, and then the agency can choose the best ones and actually provide them as a public service. So you can look this Apps for Democracy up on the web. It's fascinating. I'm going to show you some of the apps that were created through this. This one is called Are You Safe Washington? It takes the crime data, direct feed from several agencies actually in Washington, and creates this app that you can walk around with and it tells you whether you're in a safe neighborhood or not. So when the meter goes to red, see like this one here, it says robberies 43, 26 car thefts, 22 assaults. Don't go that way. So watch your phone, and as the color changes, you know which way to go. Really cool. This one, which is hard to see, and it's that way on purpose, is called Stumble Safety, and it's all about showing the lighted pathways between bars in Washington, D.C. You'll love that, right? Also using publicly accessible data. This is funded by Washington, the city of Washington. This is one that shows you where all the Superfund sites are, particularly where if there's one near your house. And we live in Brooklyn, so ours would be like Gowanus Canal would probably be up there for us. So those are kind of the wonderful things, the wonderful world of crowd sourcing, crowd pitching. Then there's another phenomenon that we've been noticing called virtual pitching, or what we call virtual pitching. And that's where people have an idea for the government, they publish it, they publish it in a magazine, they publish it on their website, and hope that somebody in the government sees it. It's not a very efficient way to go. That's a pushing out. And so one great example is GQ put together a contest a few years ago to redesign license plates, because they said it's really ridiculous. You pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get a tricked out beautiful car, and then you put an ugly license plate on it. Like, how stupid is that? So they made a contest and called for designers around the country to design better looking license plates, and this is what they got. And they're beautiful. I particularly love this one here.
Yeah.
This is by Louise Feely, a really great designer. Right? They're wonderful. And so they published them in hopes that, one state here or there might adopt this idea and run with it. Other examples are in the New York Times, the op-ed and op-chart area of the New York Times is constantly publishing things that are related to government design. This one in particular is the redesign of the lunch line in a typical school, and how just by moving objects around, moving food around and placing it in just the right areas, students would eat more healthfully. And lastly, this example, which is just fantastic. Guy named Ed Mullen, he's a web designer. Right around the time when there was discussion about health care reform, and the Obama administration announced they wanted to start a health insurance exchange, this guy went into his home office and designed an example of what the health insurance exchange should look like, which is what this is. And he put it on a website, put it on his blog, and he published it. And the next thing you know, somebody at HHS, Health and Human Services, saw it, called him up, hired him from his home office, I guess. He went to Washington and worked there. And he designed and led the team in the design of healthcare.gov, which is the actual exchange, which is live now. And what's sort of interesting about it is that this is not like the most beautiful website in the world, but if you see the kinds of websites that HHS makes, this is a real improvement, trust me.